blasters on full.
What's up guys, Gripe here with a review of the Marvel Select Hulkbuster figure. And this is a comic book style Hulkbuster, which I think is really awesome. So we'll start off by checking out the packaging, and it's your typical Marvel Select packaging with the figure in a blister pack attached to cardboard. And on the bottom here you have a picture of Hulkbuster and Iron Man, and on the left you have the Hulkbuster name with the Marvel Select logo. And here you have a really cool picture of Hulkbuster, and it looks like he's fighting Hulk. And on the back you have a picture of the figure itself with Hulkbuster on the left. And if you look closely, the hands on this figure actually have articulated fingers, which I really wish this figure had. So now let's check out the Sculpt Paint on the figure. And overall I think both of them are really good, especially the sculpt. There's a lot of nice little details sculpted into the figure that just looks great. The paint is pretty good. I do really like the colors they used. This nice metallic red that they used looks really nice. It's nice and glossy, and the gold as well. Both of those colors just work really well together. You have a lot of nice silver paint details here on the back. You have the pistons on the arm, the spine here, pistons on the back of the leg. Although you can see that there's some overspray here on the right piston. It's on the left side of it here. And same with these bolts here on the boots. You can see this one here is nice and clean, but this one has some overspray around it. Not a huge deal, but it is noticeable. You can see here on the back it looks like the paint's a bit marred, almost like it was touched before it was fully dry. And here on the chest it looks like there was some paint that got splashed on there after the fact. And there's some cracks here on the biceps, on this one as well. And there are some scratches here along the neck. They're not that big, but they are deep. They go into the plastic. And there are some scratches here on the top of the thigh. They're not too bad and they're not that deep, but they are noticeable. I like these little rivets they sculpted in here. Those look nice. And I really like the shin armor. I think the shin armor looks great. I like these depressions they molded into them. And the feet look really good, nicely detailed. You can see they have some jets on the bottom here, as well as peg holes, although this one is a bit clogged here, I see. I like the arms are nicely detailed. The repulsor looks good. And the back I think looks great. I love all the little rivets on the armor plates. The jet they have there, and the spine section looks great with all those little plates there. Overall, I really like the sculpt on this thing. I think it's really nicely detailed. I like the paint they used, and the paint job overall is pretty good. There are some small issues here or there, but for 25 bucks it's not too bad. So now we'll check out the articulation of the figure. And the head is articulated in that it does rotate left and right. That's pretty much it, and it is tough to actually move it. Sometimes I find it works fairly well with a light bit of pressure, and this time it is just not cooperating with me. The shoulder pads are on a ball joint, and you can lift them up a bit and rotate them. They won't stay where you put them though, so it's really just to allow greater range of motion in the arms when you're posing. And the shoulders are ball joints, and you can get the arms up about that high. And it does have a bicep swivel, and you can get that all the way around if you want. There's also swivel at the elbow, and that is limited by the piston on the back of the arm. Has single jointed elbows, and they are really stiff, as you can see here. But once you get that kind of forced in, you can get it just about 90 degrees. And the shoulder pads do pop off fairly easily. I've noticed the one on the left side comes off much easier than the right on my figure. But they do pop right back on, and it's fairly easy to get them on. The wrists are on ball joints. You can see you can get some rotation here. It is limited by the armor on the forearms. And you can move the hands up, down, and side to side, although it is a little bit limited because of the sculpt. And now we'll check out the diaphragm joint. You can get them forward about that far and backwards about that far. And it does have some decent side to side, as you can see. And you can also rotate them, and you can get them all the way around if you want, which is good because there's no movement at the waist. The hips are pretty good. You can see you can really extend those legs out pretty far to the side. It's only about 45 degrees forward and 30 backwards, so it does have upper thigh swivel and knee swivel. And it is single jointed knees, and you can see that's about as far as you can bend them. And now we'll check out the ankles. And they are on ball joints, and you can see you can get the foot down about that far. You really can't get it up at all. It does rotate around and does have some really nice pivot. And the right ankle on mine was frozen. It wouldn't rotate, but I just had to hit it with a hairdryer for a little while and it was fine. And this figure stands at just under 8.5 inches tall, which is actually pretty small for a Marvel Select Hulkbuster. I would expect it to be a lot taller. It does work really well with Marvel Legends scale though. And here it is next to the Marvel Select Hawkeye. You can see it really should be quite a bit bigger than the Hawkeye. And here it is next to the Marvel Legends Mark 43 Iron Man. You can see it fits fairly well with that scale. And just to give you a better idea of this, here he is next to the Marvel Legends Age of Ultron Hulk. You can see how well he fits into this scale. So overall, I really like this figure. I think it's got a great sculpt with some nice details. I also think they chose some really nice colors for the paint, and although there are some small issues with the paint app, overall it's fairly clean and precise. And I do like the amount of articulation that you get with this. It is better than some of the other Marvel Selects I have, and it's definitely a very posable figure. And even though it's a bit small for a Marvel Select, it does fit in perfectly with Marvel Legends figures. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe for more. Thanks.
Set blasters on full.